Hello, my name's Tom. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Craner Kirkman. We're one of the leading Amazon FBA prep centres in the UK, and we're doing this special event today with a very special guest talking all about Amazon FBA, their experience, and of course their experience with us as well. Um, I'm delighted to welcome. What do you want to be called?
Call me whatever you want, Tom.
Flipping at 30?
Everyone, people seem to know me as Flipping at 30. People know me as Tom G.
Where did flipping at 30 come from?
So that was when I first started. There were a few things on social media, Instagram, things like that, and it were all about document your journey, this, that,
Yeah.
and other. I had no idea what to call it because I didn't want to do it under my own name because I was working full time. And it was like, well, I'm flipping books and I'm 30, so flipping at 30.
What happens when you turn 40? Does it become flipping at 40?
Well, I've got another 5 years off them
Okay,
yet,
so
so
there's
so I've got
quite a
plenty
while
of
to think
time.
about it.
But yeah,
No,
no,
no, that's we'll go with Tom. It's a
yeah,
bit weird having Tom. When two Toms sit together and people go, "Oh, Tom, like,
Tom,
sat nav,
go.
sat nav." Yeah, well, exactly. So it's a pleasure to have you here with us, Tom.
No, it's great to be here. Thank you.
Thank you for joining this. And we're not going to do this regularly. I want this to be I want to talk a bit about Q4 and about how people are finding Q4. I know there's been a lot in the news lately about Amazon and counterfeit products, and
Yeah,
obviously
it really has.
it's a challenging time to be an
It
Amazon
is.
FBA seller.
There's always so many hurdles, and every year you find Amazon just throwing more and more hurdles
Mm,
at you as a seller, and it is almost like they don't want this arbitrage sort of style seller on the platform. They want the more large scale people rather than the people who are just trying to do a bit here and there. So they do add in so many more hurdles.
yeah.
And I feel it does weed out the less legitimate style sellers.
Do you think what's happened in recent weeks with Yumu, for example,
That's
has that hit the larger sellers as much as it's hit the smaller ones as well?
yeah. I know some people who've been hit very big, like 6-figure loss big.
Is that a cripple? That could be a crippling loss for someone. I
Oh,
imagine
that
it.
can be, yeah. There's there's some people that have really, really been hurt by it. One of which is your new customers.
Yeah, I know, yeah. It's always the way, though, isn't it? How's Q4 treating you?
Yeah, it's not too bad. I can't complain. It's I'm approaching it slightly different to how I have previously.
Yeah,
Um, but it's good. Revenue's running well. Hoping for a strong month next month, but it's just a lot of hard work, a lot of time input, and yeah, there's always such a fast turnaround required from your Black Friday purchasing
yeah.
to getting things into Amazon, which is where I'm sure you see a massive spike
We do.
in.
I think, to
in
be
what
honest, I
comes
think we've
through.
seen a spike ever since kind of the end of September sort of time.
Yeah, get ready.
We've never known anything like it so far. But that's a good thing.
Yeah,
That's
wait,
clearly a good thing.
give it another week or two, and you're gonna see a lot more.
That's good. That's good. Not going to complain. Do you think it's been a different kind of Q4 this year? Do you think it's kind of comparable with previous Q4s, or
I've found it over the last. So I've been doing this. This is my 5th year.
Yeah.
Or my 5th Q4 now, and it's changed throughout the years. Like the first one was pre-pandemic, so that's very different to anything since. Then going into pandemic times, there was such shortages.
Yeah.
So then it was approached in a very different way again. But you find things like the Black Friday offers and the promotional periods. They're being approached by retailers so different. You think 5 years ago, it was all about Black Friday is Black Friday and Cyber Monday,
Yeah.
and maybe the week of. Now you open emails and you see in Black Friday sales starting on the 1st of November.
Which is crazy.
Literally as soon as Halloween had finished, it was Black Friday sales or pre-Black Friday sales. And it's this sale period during November is just elongated.
Yeah.
So much so. And it brings challenges in an arbitrage sense because you don't know when the good offers are. But it also provides an elongated period of buying.
Yeah.
But it then makes the sort of period of December when sales normally start rocketing at the start of December, I've found that it really delays that. And people who would have normally bought at the start of December are buying in November. And then you just get the, let's say, men of this world buying the last minute Christmas presents for everyone, all the perfumes, all the gifts, all the toys, everything like that is in the last week before Christmas.
Yeah.
Because everyone's panicking, everyone needs it there that day, the next day.
What's your focus at the moment? Is it kind of the online arbitrage side of things, or is it wholesale, or a mix of both?
It's a mix of both. Like whole traditionally, or what you sort of see is from an ROI, from a margin profitability sense, the higher scales you're able to get things in, the lower your margins.
Yeah.
So you go to started doing charity shops and books, which was just insane margins. You buy stuff 50p, you sell it for 20 quid.
Yeah.
But it's not scalable. Then RA, everyone knows RA has good margins available. Then you go to OA, it's obviously advertised to a wider pool of people.
Yeah.
So it's more accessible, your margins go down again. And then wholesale, unless you're really, really big and like serious buying power, then it's again lower margins, but you're able to scale it, so your overall profitability can go up.
Yeah.
So I'm still majority OA and just trying to push that wholesale more, but it's building the contacts.
Yeah, that's what you tend to find. Everybody says, isn't it? It's finding the contacts and finding the leads and finding ways to grow their business in a meaningful and sustainable way.
It's so hard that I actually have a really good OA ability. So taking time away from something where I'm making 20, 30 grand a month is hard.
100%. And do you do it all on your own? I'm guessing you do this full time.
Yes, yeah.
Do you do it all on your own, or have you got a team behind you? How does it work?
All on my own up until last month. And yeah, unlike many others that talk about having a team of VAs, I have very publicly said that I'm not a fan of the VA aspects.
Yeah.
And it's just never sat well with me. It's not worked with how I work. So it's always just been myself.
Yeah.
And then just some support for logistically and sort of a bit of backup support, which has happened in the last month. So
yeah. Excellent. It's an exciting time to be an Amazon seller, I'm guessing, but a very stressful one at the same time.
Yeah, and nothing in business is smooth, as you know.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what business you're doing, it always has challenges with it.
Yeah.
And you have to be resilient. You have to be able to push through them. You can't be knocked down and stay down.
Yeah.
You've got to get back up and just fight with all the crap. Because as soon as you stop trying, that's when you're defeated.
Yeah, 100%.
You're going to have many failures before you have your big wins.
Yeah.
So you need to tell me the story of CK and what actually made you start it.
It's a really good question, actually.
What made you be stickering things and think?
Everybody says that. Everybody says, what makes you want to go to work every day and just stick labels on things all day?
I'm sure that wasn't the vision. But
I come from a marketing agency background, so a lot of the stuff we do at Craner is very... You can tell by some of the stuff we put on socials and some of the graphics and some of the giveaways and some of the doing things like this. It's very...
You don't approach it the same way as other prep centres do, and that's something that sort of stood out.
It's
from
about
the start with you guys.
It's about innovation and creativity.
Yes.
It's always been about innovation, and
that's why I followed you guys and sort of stayed with you guys. It's always going to be something that's new and different. You're not just going to get the same copy and paste mold that everyone
100%.
Else is doing.
It's about having creative thoughts and doing things creatively. So the story is that myself and my business partner Sam, we used to be Amazon sellers ourselves. Nowhere near to the levels that you are, as an example. But we got to a point where we started to need to use a prep center. We Googled Amazon FBA prep center, as most people do. I don't think back then it was a big thing and there wasn't so many players out there in the game.
No, it's definitely expanded and there's a lot more people. Everyone seems to be setting one up now.
Yeah. And that's where it's so important to stay ahead of the curve. and be different.
Yeah.
So we started using a prep center. I'm not going to say who they were, but it was tedious. It was really, really tedious. So they wouldn't ship anything to Amazon until you paid the invoice. You'd ask them to do something and this needs bundling. Okay, that's fine. And then it would take them 4, 5, 6 days to do that. And then you've got to get the invoice to pay the invoice. You were waiting 1 to 2 weeks for things to actually go into Amazon.
It's no good. When it's such a cash-hungry business, you need that turnaround. You need that speed.
100%. So what we did was we kind of went, okay, I think we can do this better. So we got a little unit, and as quite a lot of the players in the game now kind of started out, I imagine, is they got a little unit and said, okay, we're doing prep and this is why we're better than everybody else. And you come to us because we can do it for cheaper and we can do it faster. And at first that was the right thing to say. And it was the right thing that got people on board. It only takes word of mouth, for example, doesn't it?
It's really interesting you sort of say it like that. I was listening to a podcast on the way down here. It was talking about being like either you can treat your business either as a commodity or as a product and something of value to sell.
Yeah.
And as soon as you start commoditizing things, it's a race to the bottom, and it is that cheaper. And that is like, that's not how you want to be selling. That's not how you want to be doing. You want to be doing your value proposition rather than we're going to be cheaper than everyone else, because then nobody wins.
Because you look at it as an example. So Costa have got their Terry's chocolate orange range out now. Do I go to Costa because it's cheap, because actually I could get a more expensive Starbucks, or do I go to Costa because I like what they do and they do a good job, and every time I go there I really enjoy what I have? So I don't know, if you might go and have a flat white, for example, and you go there because you enjoy it and you trust what they do and you trust that the drink they're going to pour is going to be a perfect drink. If Bob's coffee shop down the road comes to you and says, well, I can do a flat white, but I'll do it for 30p cheaper.
That's like your McDonald's coffee.
Well, exactly. It's not going to sway you away from the thing that you like and enjoy. And that's the kind of approach we take at C&K. Look, no business is perfect. I think we got into a stage, must have been 18 months ago now, where we bit off more than we could chew, I'd say.
And we had a lot of chats around that time, didn't we?
We did.
We were talking a lot at that point.
And I think it's every business gets to that point unless they've got defined processes in place. And we bit off more than we can chew. We got all these customers and we weren't delivering, and we had to get rid of some customers, and it was a really bad way of doing business. It was a disaster, really.
There were hard decisions that had to be made, but you're in such a stronger position now for them.
100%. And we're doing probably nearly twice that volume that we were doing back then. And everybody's getting 24-hour turnarounds.
Which is crazy, is that?
To be fair, most of it's the same day, really.
Yeah, it's not even just the sort of turnaround speed of the prep. It's because of, so I'll get you to explain yourself, but CKL. And it's a turnaround from the point of delivery to you to prime eligible.
Yeah.
That's what the real difference is.
But that comes back to innovation.
Yeah, 100%.
And the whole piece around innovation. And when we sat there and thought of logistics, it was we brainstormed in a kind of a setting like this, probably not with the fancy lights, not with the microphones, but we brainstormed of, okay, what can we do to stand out from the rest? What can we do to innovate and be different and be a step above everybody else? And so we thought, okay, what are the challenges that Amazon sellers have? Okay, well, prep is obviously one of them, and that's what most people can do, and that's what most people can accomplish really well. The other challenge is, okay, UPS will come to your door and pick up a parcel. There's a lot of people that are a little bit disillusioned by it, that think, okay, UPS are going to pick that parcel up from me
and drive it straight.
And they're going to take it straight to Amazon. It'll be at Amazon's front door the next day. What most people didn't realise is, okay,
it sits on a lorry.
It goes into a hub, onto a trailer. Only when that trailer's full, they've got to book an ISA in with Amazon to deliver. And it could be 3-4 days, or in times like this in Q4, a week
you always
plus.
see it. It's sat on that awaiting collection for ages of tracking. And even when it's delivered, That don't mean that they're going to check it in. It means it's sat on a lorry in the yard that could sit there for 3-4
100%.
days.
So that was the challenge that we thought, okay, if we can find a solution to this challenge, then that'll potentially drive a service that really changes the game for Amazon FBA sellers.
Yeah,
So
100%.
we thought, okay, let's try it. So we got a van and we started taking some parcels to one of the Amazon FCs, and it worked. And we thought, okay, this works. That's great. Let's try it and push it a little bit more and go to some other FCs, and it worked. We then did something very different. We then built a relationship with Amazon. And building that relationship with Amazon was the key point to make sure CK Logistics wasn't just something that was knocked up out of thin air and just let's get a van and let's deliver to all Amazon FCs because that's what we can do. This was something that we went, okay, well, we know it works. Let's build that relationship with Amazon to make it a service that delivers for customers and doesn't let customers down. It's very easy for anyone to get a van and go, I'm going to go and deliver to Amazon and hope for the best.
Well, there was so many other prep centres that tried to imitate what you'd already done, but did it as a half-baked idea, doing that, just dropping it off, where I had a very big loss out of because it wasn't a fully formed and baked idea.
And that's a challenge. It's a challenge. Yeah. And when we sat there and thought, okay, how do we make this a service that's got justification and that can actually deliver? We kind of went, okay, well, we need to talk to Amazon. So we went holy hell and high water to speak to Amazon and get in front of the right people and come up with a process and a solution. We're at a point now we can deliver to Amazon LBA4 or BHX4, and we'll say to them on the gatehouse, we're from Craner Kirkman, and they'll radio through and go, it's Craner, they're coming around, they've got this many, it's the usual guy. Like, they know us, and that's
not easy to get, is it?
Not
it's
at
an
all.
Achievement that you've got to that position.
At the gatehouse to see our little name on the wall as well. It makes you feel,
quite nice.
It makes you feel quite proud in a way.
Yeah, and you should be. It's like say all these people that tried to mimic it and join you on it to try and offer the same service. None of them are still doing it.
No.
You're the only ones that are still running that and offering that successfully.
God, we've done just over 1 million units in the past year directly into Amazon.
Jesus.
And that's when you look at the because I know there's been people in the past that say you can't trust a direct Amazon service because of X, Y, and Z. The discrepancy rate is incredibly low, less than 0.1%.
That's
on 1 million.
That's
units.
Good, is that?
But it's about the service side of things as well. So as a business, we've built a business that's not just focused on, okay, the goods will come in and it will be done same day or at the very latest within 24 hours and out the door. That's great. Fundamentally, that's great. And that's what people look for in a prep centre. But we also deliver outstanding customer service. It's about going above and beyond for customers. Q4 is a really busy time.
Oh, it's integral. And if things go wrong at this point for people, then it really affects their business and their livelihood. In some cases, people are full-time.
100%.
Like they rely on this period of the year to be their lion's share of profit.
I think a lot of challenges people have had and a lot of comments that I get all the time is, okay, well, I've sent it to my prep centre and they've not touched it yet, or I want to come over to C&K because I'm using so-and-so who, you know what, their timings have slipped lately and they're doing 2 to 3 days. We have such a defined process in place that we don't let that happen. So having a loyal team and a team around you that believe in the business.
Yes.
We're all about people at C&K. We're not one of these businesses that says we care about people and then
it's just a
I'm there driving my Ferrari. You know what I mean?
It's just a plaque on the wall. It doesn't actually mean anything. And it's having them values instilled in everyone.
100%.
Not just a bit of wording on a wall.
The beauty of it is, you know what, this time of the year is really busy. We've probably had the past 3-4 weeks have been our busiest 3-4 weeks ever at C&K. But if it gets busy, we switch on a night shift.
Yeah.
If it gets busy, we switch on a Saturday.
Yeah, and it has been really good sort of seeing the efforts and lengths you guys go to when there is peaks in demand and when it is when there is so much more volume than standard, and how you handle it to make sure that the performance doesn't slip.
It's no additional cost for that either. So, for example, Saturday, we had a text from Ian, who's our normal every driver. He's great, saying, I've got 250 parcels for you. At least 210 of them have one customer. So we turned on Saturday, and the team come in. We processed everything that arrived. All of those units have just been delivered this morning into Amazon XLP1. And today's Monday. So you're talking within 48 hours of not even working hours, it's all done and ready to go.
That's crazy, is that?
It's being customer centric. It's being different.
So it's like that will likely be live tonight,
if not sooner.
So that person has had 210 parcels delivered on Saturday,
which was 2,712 units.
So if that had been anywhere else, even to themselves, whatever, best case, it'd be picked up by UPS today, and you'd say Thursday?
Well, I'm going to give you an even worse scenario than that. Every single unit was dangerous goods.
Yeah.
So UPS wouldn't take it anyway.
So yeah, it'd be a longer wait.
Even the cost savings of that.
Yeah.
I'll get loads.
So how many boxes will that have been?
Oh, it's the product isn't large, so it's about, I want to say 26, 27 boxes.
So 27 boxes. So you say it's about £8 per thing. So
and legally, because when you're sending dangerous goods through, I don't know, your Parcel Force or your DPD of the world, because it's going into a national hub, you're restricted to how many you can put in the box. So
it's only 6 units.
6 to 8 units.
Yeah.
So when you look at it like that, and the cost per box, most people don't understand the logic behind CK Logistics and how people say, oh, well, why would I pay £130 a month or £200 a month, and then I've got my shipping costs on top and all this, that, and the other. People don't realise that monthly cost includes your shipping into Amazon completely.
And people forget to break down how much per unit shipping inbound costs. Like you see so many people forget about that. And it's like you say on the dangerous goods, 2,000 units. If you say it's 2,500 units and you pay £250 for your month, that's only 10p per unit to do it inbound. It costs you more than 10p per unit just on that one shipment to send it in.
And that's
even
crazy.
If it was partnered, never mind the sort of DG shipping.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's really changed the way Amazon sellers work, and the number of customers we've got on board now, I'm under no kind of disillusion as the new prep centres that are opening, and I'm so-and-so and I can do prep really well and all this, that and the other. It's about how we stay ahead of the game.
When I first sort of moved to you, I think my prep bill, my inbound shipping bill went from £1,000 a month to £200 a month.
Crazy.
And that's £800 saved just on inbound shipping.
A month.
A month, yeah. So it's 10 grand a year. And that's just crazy. It's like that can not far off cover your prep bill.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's what people forget as well, isn't it? It's like if you reduce that off your prep labelling fee, it is such a saving.
So we're really proud of what we've achieved. I think we're really, really proud of what we've achieved. And I think now it's kind of looking forwards of what is next? What is next, and how do we stay ahead of the curve? Obviously, we've froze prices we're coming up to 2 years in a row now, but you've still got other places coming and going, I'll do it for 30p.
Yeah.
But it's the value add and the service and the logistics and anything else we can add in to make it.
It's got to be a value proposition, not just a price
100%
thing, and conveying over the actual savings that people are getting and the value you're giving to them.
Yeah.
That's what it needs to be. Like I've seen a few things where, obviously on Amazon to Amazons or things like that, prices drop a stone. And stuff that I've sent to yourselves, it's got in before them prices drop, and you're able to at least get your items or get some of them cleared before the prices tank into oblivion.
It's having that relationship with customers at the same time, though. So I get some customers that someone messaged me and said, Tom, okay, I've bought this lead. but I guarantee 200 other people have bought this lead.
Yeah.
I need it into Amazon ASAP. So we'll
Yeah.
go above and beyond to make sure that product gets into Amazon straight
Yeah.
away. And
Yeah.
that customer that said that then sent a message a few days later of, I got it in before everyone else. All my units sold, and now the price has tanked by like 30, 40 quid. So it's like, it's a no-brainer really, but they're the things that stick with people. They're the things that people will go, oh, they go above and beyond for me. And
Yeah.
it's about keeping that above and beyond
100%.
approach.
100%.
Nobody's perfect. I think the 24-hour turnarounds is obviously a really big selling point, but in the right way, everybody can achieve that if they want to. I think we have a secret sauce, is what we said a few weeks ago. You know, like KFC have their herbs and spices.
Yeah.
It's the secret sauce of, okay, well, how do we make the process work differently to any other prep centre? And we have that secret process in place that delivers 24-hour turnarounds regardless.
Yeah.
And if people knew what that was, it would give the game away a little bit. But it's just so slick and it works so unbelievably well.
No, and I've been impressed when I've come to see you sort of set up and see how it does just flow well.
Yeah.
And it is really good to see.
It's really, really valuable, actually.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of our customers know you and have a relationship with you. I can think of probably 5 or 6. What's kind of the link there? Is that through mentoring, or is that through friendship, or? Yeah,
so I guess sort of when were it that I started using you guys? We must be talking 18 to 20
months, I would
18,
say,
20 months. It was like probably the start of 2023, if not end of 2022, wasn't it? But yeah, sort of that's probably not much different from when I started mentoring. So I was getting in contact with a lot more people.
Yeah.
And really a lot of people who are growing, and at the stages I was helping people, like a lot of the focus of people I was helping were somewhere in the 200 to 800 grand a year regions.
Yeah.
And they're all finding stumbling blocks. And you see so many of the same challenges. But people are time poor or cash poor. And people who are time poor are sometimes doing their own prep, not outsourcing effectively. So sort of the look for a prep centre. Yeah. And given that I'd worked with yourselves, it was an obvious one that I knew you were trustworthy. I knew you did what you needed to do right.
Yeah.
You obviously had your trouble and time, as you'd sort of alluded to, but there's a couple that I'd sort of introduced you to early on that are still with you.
Yeah.
And people who have stayed with you through that, they've just had outstanding performance and since, haven't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's a lot of it is from that. A lot of people who I've helped, I chat to regularly. But yeah, I've done quite a lot of mentoring now, given it's.
I could vision you all going out for a flipping mentoring curry or whatever.
I definitely should try and get something together, shouldn't I? Yeah. Maybe I do need to put something in a diary and just have a big
party.
Yeah,
that'd be great. What's kind of the ambition with the mentoring piece? Is it something? Do you enjoy it, or is it still what it was when you first started it? Or
it's changed a lot. So when I first started it, it was mainly because there was a lot of really unscrupulous people in the space.
Yeah,
people who had no backup to what they were claiming. People who really were out there just to scam people of money.
Yeah,
and I hated that. I really do not like people being done over, especially when it's these people that are being sold a dream that isn't reality, and it gets them into financial troubles.
Yeah.
So I wanted to offer something to people that I was really fair, really honest, really. I'm not going to tell you that you're going to get to £1 million a month with no effort and on £5 investment. And the truth is, business is hard work, and I'll give people guidance and help them with it. But there's no secret method
Yeah.
apart from put a lot of hours into it and try really hard. But sometimes people just need a bit of advice and a bit of pointing to ensure they're in the right direction from someone who's walked that path.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of mentoring in terms of the sort of single calls, just giving people advice. But the ones that I've really enjoyed doing are the people I'm still in contact with a lot, and I've helped over longer periods of time because I've seen them go from maybe starting at 400-500 grand a year, and many of them are now 7-figure, like selling 1.5 million a year. And just seeing that growth and just some of the pointers that I've given them at early points, and they've taken that on and grown just massively. Like, I think there must be at least 4 people who, when I first started talking to them, they were still full-time employed and are now full-time Amazon.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice.
No,
Seeing that,
it's
it's like,
achievement, massive achievement.
and like I did a course last year for a few people. So just like a 6-week intensive, getting ready for Q4, things like that. And I had a message from one of the guys, and they sent me a screenshot of sort of the previous year when we started it and their entire month.
Yeah.
I think it was 1.3k profit, something like that, or whatever it was. And in the first, I think 5 or 6 days, they'd done what they did in the whole month the year before.
Wow.
And like, that's just a year's change. It's a massive difference. And just sort of seeing that, and that had impacted it. And I obviously had impacted, otherwise they won't message and say, look at how far I've come.
Yeah.
And it's that really made me want to do it. Now, in the last 6 to 8 months, I've really not done much. I've not advertised it. I've not publicised it. And it has just purely been down to time constraints. As my business has got bigger,
Yeah.
I've had so much less time to be able to give others, because all I am doing is running my own business. And
which is quite right as well, yeah.
And that's it. I was never doing it as, I wasn't going to be this Instagram guru or Twitter guru, whatever it was. My business was never going to be a mentoring business. That's not what I did. It was to help people, but my primary business was still selling on Amazon.
Yeah.
And that's what you see from so many of the dodgy people. Their business is to sell dreams, and that's how they make their
Here's
money.
how you get your Lamborghini in Dubai.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's how, like, if you look at their breakdown of income, it is from selling courses and selling mentoring, not from selling on Amazon.
Yeah.
And there's not many that are good and known that make more from Amazon and e-commerce than from selling courses.
Yeah.
And if someone makes more from selling courses, they should be selling a course on selling courses, not selling a course on making money on Amazon.
Red flags.
Yeah.
How do you think it is for new Amazon sellers entering the world of FBA at the moment? Do you think it's saturated? Do you think it's different to what it used to be? Do you think there's still opportunity there?
It's very different from what it used to be, but there is so much opportunity. One of the challenges that I really think there is for new sellers, when I first started, there was a bit of an Instagram community, but there wasn't this, I'm going to brag and I'm doing 10 grand a month in 3, after only selling for 3 days.
Yeah.
And people think that that is the norm, that they can be making 10 grand a month within 2 months and quit the jobs. And then if they're not getting that, they see themselves as failing.
Yeah.
And it's all advertising this, right? Leverage yourself to death, take out credit cards. And it is more the social aspect that makes it harder now. If you did it just in your own isolation and you walked your own path, then it's fine. And starting as a new seller, if you take your own path rather than try and mimic everyone else, you'll do much better.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants this big, shiny life and they want it straight away.
Yeah.
They don't want to grind for 2 years without taking a penny out. But if you do that, like 2 years isn't a long time.
No.
In real terms, 2 years is not a long time. You will still be sat in your job in the same seat in 2 years and not think anything of it.
Yeah.
But you don't want to put 30 hours a week into something that could be making you, and you're drawing down 5+ grand a month,
Yeah.
while still growing your business.
In your opinion, so say you're a new Amazon seller, what point should you look at getting a prep center?
So, within terms of when you are working, when you're doing sourcing, anything like that, everything is a cost on your time. People make the mistake when they're growing that your time is free.
Yeah.
So people think, if I send 1,000 units to myself and I label them and prep them all, that's
you're saving
cost
on the unit
zero.
cost. Yeah.
But it's not cost zero because you're not prepping, you're not sourcing, you're not finding anything, you're not making the money whilst you're labeling.
Yeah.
And if you're not finding enough stock, then you really need to be outsourcing that aspect.
Yeah.
Now, if you get into the point where you're sending everything to yourself and you're spending every single penny you've got, then you should be self-labeling.
Yeah.
But if you're not able to find and spend money that you have in your bank on profitable stock because you're just labeling, that's when you need to be using a prep center.
Yeah.
Like, I know I 100% outsourced my prep too late. Far too late. And I could have been in a better position now if I'd have outsourced mine earlier.
Yeah.
But I was still working full time, doing 500 grand, I think 600 grand in the last 12 months before I outsourced. But at that time, I was sat there going, I don't want to order this because I can't be asked to prep it. And as soon as you're getting even inklings of that and you're changing your buying habits because you don't want to prep it, that's when you should. That is the golden sign.
Yeah.
Because you're leaving money on the table just because you can't be asked to do something. So outsource it.
Yeah.
You guys will happily prep it all for me.
100%. 100%. And that's great. It is. We can see a lot of that over at C&K. We see a lot of newer sellers coming on board, or newer sellers have been doing it for 6-7 months that kind of say, look, we're at the point now where we need your help.
Yeah.
We're like, absolutely, come on in, kind of thing.
Well, I've sent a couple of people your way in the last sort of 6 months that have been self-prepping or using elsewhere and are doing good volume.
Yeah.
And it's like, why were you doing that all by yourself? Why were you doing that in your house, taking up your living room, taking over your house, being hated by your parents, being hated by your missus?
It's crazy. But some of those success stories as well of the sellers that came over to us that were doing 300-400 units a month. One of those customers now is doing 10,000 units a month, and that's astronomical compared to what they were doing.
Is that one that's been with you for quite a while? Yeah, I know what you mean then. Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Yeah.
But what a success story for them, for you,
massive,
and for everyone, really.
But he's doing fantastic performance now. Like, the amount he's turning over versus when I first started chatting to him, it's crazy.
It is absolutely crazy. What's next for Flipping at 30?
I genuinely have no idea.
Flipping at 35.
Yeah, flipping at 35. Yeah, another year older, still no brighter.
Yeah.
But no, I think consistency and longevity to build into my business.
Yeah.
Like, the mentoring I will still do when people reach out to me, but it's not something I think I'm still going to push at the moment.
Yeah.
Maybe a sort of live course again for... I like to take people that are already successful in their own right, but sort of struggling.
Yeah.
If they're doing couple of $100,000 a year, which is a massive achievement, but then taking them from 200 to 500 plus, that's where I can really value add.
Yeah.
Like, I can sort of support smaller sellers, but it's also so long since I've been in that position. I find it a bit more difficult to pre-VAT reg, things like that. There's a lot of the same principles, but as I've grown my buying habits and the approaches that are worthwhile are much more applicable to the larger VAT registered sellers.
Yeah.
And that's when I can really add a lot of value to people. And there's also not many other people in the market that are there to help that level of seller in an OA sense. Everyone focuses on new sellers and helping new sellers.
Yeah.
When there's a lot of free information out there for new sellers, and you can do really well just from what's publicly available. You don't have to pay someone $2,000 to
teach you something you could learn for free.
Yeah. You'd learn so much more by going for free resources and spending that $2,000 on stock and making mistakes that you learn from.
Yeah.
And I just don't like people taking that much off someone that could be used to invest in stock.
Yeah, 100%. But Tom, seriously, thank you ever so much for today.
No, it's been a pleasure to come down.
It's nice to kind of chat and talk all about your FBA business, and it's great to hear about the growth. And it's also been great to talk a little bit about C&K and our services as well, which I'm sure a lot of you viewers watching might want to or not want to hear about. I don't know.
I've always loved coming down to see you guys. I've been down a couple of times now. It's good to natter with you. It's good to sort of, I've got so much trust in you as a business, and it is very much like a prep centre is a very personal thing. You put in an awful lot of trust in the success of your business in the prep centre. So you really need to have faith in the person running it and the person leading it.
Yeah.
And I always say that to people. I always say, look, reach out to people, see who you connect with, see who you trust.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that trust, you'll always be second guessing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And sort of from early on, chatting to you, I've always trusted you guys and you to always do the right thing. And as you say, businesses make mistakes, and it's all about how you handle them.
Yeah.
And everything, anytime there has been an issue, you have always handled it flawlessly. And I can't argue with that.
The communication is key. In any business, communication is key.
100%.
And actually what happened the other year and what people came back and said was the communication was what made me stay with you.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Things happen. There might be a power cut tomorrow, or there might be a snowstorm and nobody can get to work.
Yeah.
As long as you communicate that to customers. And
people want to know.
And people will understand if you've got that communication.
And
rather than just saying...
that's like when we were chatting all that time ago. Like I said, people need to know. They can't be kept in the dark, and it's that open and honest dialogue that really makes a difference.
Yeah. So it's always a pleasure. Never a chore. I think that's the phrase, isn't it? Always a pleasure, never a chore.
I did like that you did adopt Discord.
Yes.
Because I'd mentioned that to you rather than the ticket system.
Old school, it was email, ticket system, and it just doesn't get messy, but it's a lot more management than actually if there's a discrepancy or if there's a problem or you need a photo of something, send it on Discord. Yeah. Happens straight away.
Yeah, it does. And it's that feel of a live chat rather than a inbox.
Yeah.
You don't know if someone's ready. You don't know if people are online. But that Discord instant reaction and instantly knowing that it's seen, it's visible.
Or we're sorting this for you, or here's what you've requested, or whatever it might be.
So
we love it. We love it. And it's great to give the team that opportunity as well, to talk to customers and get to know the customers as well as I know the customers, because actually that true kind of interpersonal approach that we have gives a real confidence from your side, and it gives a confidence from the team side as well, for them to feel involved. As I say, the people side of things is so important to me.
Yes.
It's important that all of my team feel valued. It's important that they all feel a part of the business, not just a number.
Yeah.
I want them to come to work every day and share in the success of the business, and not just feel they're coming to work every day to stick labels
Yeah.
on things, as you alluded to earlier.
Yeah, it has to be a part of a bigger picture, and seeing that they're achieving something.
Yeah.
It's sharing the why, isn't it? And it's sharing the vision. Yeah. It's like you sort of see, like Mrs. She worked for UPS. She sort of said the amount of drivers that are just so happy doing it. They're not just delivering parcels, but seeing a sense of achievement of an empty van at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's like you guys seeing the sense of the achievement of look at where we started today. Look at how much we've achieved.
Yeah.
And we've cleared all this. There's no backlog, and it's empty. And it's like
we're ready to go again the following day.
It's not this never-ending stack of things that you'll never get to end. It's like we've done it.
Yeah.
And it's that feeling. If you can sort of impart that on your staff, they're wanting to achieve that as well with you, and you're going to get so much better performance. So
they're doing really empowered and want to come to work and want to do well. And I really value that. We try and do team things. We go to Nando's and go bowling and all this, that, and the other. But it's about them feeling empowered with customers and seeing themselves as being a part of the business and not just a number.
Yeah. But you're clearly doing a good job with that, because you see sort of the performance that you guys are doing. You save 40,000 units in a week. Yeah. Where else is
we're all on the floor.
Yeah. But like, if you look at the size of your facility versus other people's facilities, you're doing so much more throughput with a smaller footprint.
100%.
And that's effectiveness, isn't it?
It's having the what's it called? The mantra of our approach always has been goods in, goods out. We don't sit on goods. The goods come in the door and they need to be out straight away.
Well, having that turnaround time and the fact you've got CK Logistics, it's still as cost effective to send I had a box of 5 perfumes go out, and it's still fine because I'm not being charged £7 as a DG shipment for them 5 perfumes. It costs you no more to have an extra parcel.
You could have 200 shipments in a week and it still only costs you your gold membership, which is £200 a month.
And that's it. It don't matter if it's 100 units in a box or 1 unit in a box. It's still the same. And that allows you to do that throughput, allows you to not be sat having stacks of shelving because every person needs their own shelf. You just put it in a box, you label it up, and it's off, it's gone.
100%. So yeah, it's I'm excited for where the journey's going to go next.
Yeah, so am I. Honestly,
share it with us, and hopefully we'll be sat here again soon and talking about kind of the next exciting things that are happening. But thank you so much for your time. It's very much appreciated.
Pleasure, and thank you for having me.
A huge shout out as well to Premier Events and Premier Studios in Leicester for hosting us in their beautiful brand new podcast studio, which is available to book online. So thank you, everyone, and hope to see you all and speak to you all soon. Take care. This is Craner and Kirkman. Goodbye. That was cheesy, wasn't it? Cheesy wink. That was cheesy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I love it.
We'll add this bit in at the end to make it so it wasn't as cheesy as it was. That's great. I'm happy if you are.
Yeah, no, it's been fab.